especially when it's for the Lakers.
A jawbreaker!
The free throw. This was one of the best moves I've seen all season.
What's up, y'all? This Relly back with another video. Yes, son. Today, we got to talk about one player the Cleveland Cavaliers need to trade for in order to make an immediate impact now. But before we get into that, I need you to smash that subscribe button because we need to hit 2K. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, share it to somebody who ain't subscribed, because with y'all, I know I can get there. And when y'all are done with that, I need you to hover over to that like button and smash that too, so we can get the YouTube algorithm to share this video with the world. But with all that being said, though, we got to jump into the conversation and talk about the one player that would immediately make a difference for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Before we start talking about the player that would immediately change the Cleveland Cavaliers culture, we gotta first take a step back and think to ourselves, what do the Cleveland Cavaliers need, right? And I was having this conversation with my older brother, and he said something that I think makes a lot of sense, is that we need somebody with energy, like that Pat Bev, like that Dylan Brooks, that can actually hoop. And you say, what does that mean, right? You saying Pat Bev and Dylan Brooks can't hoop? I'm not saying that. But what he really meant is we need a guy that can give us that energy, but on a ceiling can give us 15, but on a star level can give us 20, 25 points any given night with the energy that he's just that guy. Kind of similar to a Jimmy Butler, but somebody who would be cohesive with a Darius Garland, Don, and Evan Mobley. And you say, who might that be? But before we get into that, you gotta understand, when you look at all of the players in the NBA, you gotta also look at who and what is the need for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that's a small forward. Now, is that a hint? Yes, it is, because you gotta look, that small forward with that type of energy, that's a dog who can actually still give us 15, but a solid 15. He's gonna also give us other things like rebound, energy, defense, communication, veteran leadership that the Cleveland Cavaliers so strongly need. And I know you're on the tip of your seat right now asking, who is that player? And I'm gonna tell you right now. That player is no other than DeMar DeRozan. And I know that is crazy. DeMar DeRozan is the player I think would immediately change the culture, and the answer is 122% yes. When you look at what he did for Chicago, was amazing. He was giving you MVP numbers while being the second fiddle to Zach LaVine. How crazy is that, right? And especially when you have Chicago right now talking about they might blow it up just to make sure Zach LaVine is the ultimate and no question number one, which means the Cleveland Cavaliers can sincerely grab a DeMar DeRozan. And when you look at Kobe Altman's track record, he has poached these type of stars away from teams, not even being the favored in the running to get these type of players. So it's kind of something that I would predict that Kobe Altman has his eye on. And honestly, I think he understands too that DeMar DeRozan would make an immediate impact. And when you look at his stats from just this current season, you see how phenomenal DeMar DeRozan has been for the Chicago Bulls. And honestly, what he's going to do for the Cleveland Cavaliers, if he's on our team, he's averaged 25 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists with 50% field goal percentage, right? Those are phenomenal numbers. And especially when you look at the fact that he also shot 32% from 3 this current season, right? And we know historically, statistically, everything you want to punch, DeMar DeRozan is a mid-range demon, right? He shoots a lot of mid-range jumpers. He's more of that mid-2000 type of play style that just can do a lot of other intangibles. But what makes that so humbling is that gives the Cleveland Cavaliers another flavor, especially especially when it's games where Don and DG needs a boost from a guy like DeMar DeRozan. And DeMar DeRozan has showed he can play alongside stars such as players like Zach LaVine. So why don't we think he would be able to play like that with a dynamic playmaker in Darius Garland and a dynamic scorer like Donovan Spider Mitchell, right? DeMar DeRozan is the player the Cleveland Cavaliers need right now, and the player that we need to trade for this offseason to really make a stamp in the Cleveland Cavaliers pursuing a deep playoff run. Also, if you're liking the video so far, I need you to go to that like button and smash it so we can get that YouTube algorithm going, because we got to get this video out there. We got to make sure Kobe Altman knows that DeMar DeRozan needs to be on the Cleveland Cavaliers if we're going to truly make a difference. I'm serious, y'all. I need you to go over to that like button. I need you to smash it. Even if you're not sharing the video, if you go to that like button and smash it, we can get this in the YouTube algorithm. Just believe it. But like I said, we gotta still talk about DeMar DeRozan because there's still some things I think we also need to talk about. What does he also bring to the Cavs other than those intangibles that's so important to the Cavs? He brings the energy, right? Like I said, I was having a conversation with my older brother and he said we needed a guy like that. And I'm like, man, he makes a lot of sense. Now, we was trying to see if there's some guys we can poach in the free agency, and it's a lot of these guys that's going in the free agent that I don't necessarily think that's going to go the Cleveland Cavaliers way, right? We can get a Dylan Brooks, but he's not that guy I'm talking about. He's not a guy who's going to truly give you 15 points, right? He's not that type of guy, right? James Harden is probably going to go back to Houston. I'm not sure, but I don't think the Cleveland Cavaliers is necessarily his go-to team. And this is why I think the Cleveland Cavaliers have to remain active in the trade market, because this is how teams like the Cavs stay relevant and get better progressively over time to really make a difference, right? And I understand you say maybe we are able to get a player here, a player there in the free agency, and we might, because we still need to acquire some shooters, especially if we want to make sure Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell is in a very good situation. And I agree with that statement if anyone make it down in the comments, but we also have to make sure that we have enough star power. And I understand it's some players that might have to be moved in order to acquire DeMar DeRozan. Maybe we get Jared Allen away. Maybe we make a package like Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, some picks that we have remaining, and maybe Jetty Osman. Maybe that gets it done, right? Because Chicago is really trying to make sure that we understand that Zach LaVine is that number one option. And I know it's some details that would have to get worked on in the trade idea I just said, but I think that gets us there in terms of getting DeMar DeRozan and actually making a difference for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because once you have DeMar, Darius Garland, and Donovan Mitchell on your team, those shooters that we was talking about earlier is gonna come in for agency, because they understand the front office is for real about making a finals run in the Eastern Conference.
That's Atlantis with that money.